So in this video, we're going to be presenting to you the real tribe that is the real Hebrews in the scriptures. If you studied the Bible or the scriptures and you believe it, if you also study history, you will realize that the Jewish people today who claim to be the Hebrews, well, most of them do claim to be the Hebrews of the Bible, you will realize that they are really not. So the question in your mind is, who are these people? Where are they? So today we are going to present to you the tribe that is the real Hebrews of the Bible. We are going to give you the proof, the reasons we believe that this tribe are the real Hebrews of the Bible. Because there have been a lot of silence on this issue. Almost everybody have come out to claim that they are Hebrews. Now, we are members of this particular tribe. We've studied our customs, we've studied the scriptures, and we're going to be presenting to you the proof that we, our tribe, are the real Hebrews of the Bible. The reason I'm putting this out there is because we are burdened by the ignorance of our people, and not just our people, the ignorance of people everywhere. If you go to the internet, or maybe you read a book or watch a movie, you see different people coming out from everywhere claiming to be the Hebrews. Everybody claiming to be. The Jewish people, of course, were the first to do this. However, the Bible tells us very clearly that you cannot worship God in lies. In fact, it said specifically that the time has come for those who worship God to worship Him in truth and in spirit. So the truth must be told. So we are burdened by the ignorance of our people, and we feel that by making this video or presenting this truth to our people and to anybody who cares to listen, that we will alleviate that burden we have. This is going to be a long video because we have a whole lot of presentation to discuss. However, we're going to divide it into different segments and we're going to number it, so that whoever is looking at it will follow it sequentially and understand it. The sequence of arguments we present as proof that we, our tribe, are the real Hebrews in the Bible. We'll be presenting to you our conclusion, then we'll give you our premise, and then you judge based on that. Our conclusion is this: that the real Hebrews in the Bible is a particular tribe that currently live in southeastern Nigeria. That tribe is called the Igbo people. This particular tribe are the real Hebrews of the Bible. That is our conclusion. Now we'll be giving you our premise, and then you judge for yourself. So the reasons we believe that this tribe are the real Hebrews of this Bible: we are members of this tribe. We have studied our custom. We've studied our tradition. We've studied the Bible and the scriptures, the extra-biblical books that some people are not allowed to read or don't want to read. We've studied all those, and we've put two and two together, and we've realized that our tribe represents the real Hebrews of the Bible, and we're going to be presenting it. But before we go on, let me make it very clear here. If you notice, we don't use the word Israel. We do not use the word Israel or Israelites, because the word Israel is a pagan word. It's not a Hebrew word. It shouldn't be in the Bible. So we don't use the word Jew. We don't use the word Israelite. We are not Jewish. We are not Israelites. We are Hebrews. Also, we don't use the name of God. We don't call God Yahweh or Jehovah. We call Him the name He calls Himself, which is I am that I am. So I want to put that as a preamble before we go into the presentation proper, giving you the reasons we believe that our tribe, the Igbo people in southeastern Nigeria, in West Africa, in the continent of Africa, are actually the real Hebrews of the Bible. Proof number one. Like I mentioned, this tribe is called the Igbos. However, the Europeans that have studied them actually call them the Hebrews. H-E-E-B-O-E-S. That's what the Europeans that studied this tribe call us. And you will see that in so many documentation, as you'll be seeing later in this presentation. This tribe make up the majority over 80% of people sold to slavery is from this particular tribe. So the Europeans have actually dealt with this tribe a number of times. They studied us in depth, and they called us the Hebrews. So if you look at the word the Hebrews and the Hebrews, one is just a corruption of the other. We believe that the ancient Hebrews actually called themselves the Hebrews, and during the translation of the Bible, it was misinterpreted to be Hebrews, because the names are very similar. You have the Hebrews and then you have the Hebrews. This is our proof number one. And again, this is just a low-hanging fruit. However, we'll present it here as a preamble before we go into the main reasons we know that we are the Hebrews of the Bible. Reason number two is circumcision. If you read the scriptures, if you read Genesis chapter 17 verse 10, or if you read the book of Jubilees chapter 15, the Most High made a covenant with Abraham. And I know a lot of people will not read the book of Jubilees. They don't believe it's canonical. That's okay. In our website, we explain why these books should be read and why they are important to be read. But if you don't want to, please read Genesis chapter 17. In verse 10, the Most High made a covenant with Abraham. And in that covenant, he told him that every male child in his household must be circumcised. Now, when the child is 8 days old, that child should be circumcised. And that is the token of the covenant he was making with Abraham. Now, the children of Abraham, all of them, and their descendants, were all circumcised. Circumcision is a mark that is used to distinguish between Hebrews and non-Hebrews in ancient times. Now, if you come to Africa, these Igbo people I mentioned, we circumcise our children. And we did not just start circumcising last week. We have been circumcising our children long before the Bible came to Africa. Long before the white man sailed to the shores of Africa with the scriptures, with the Bible, with anything. We have been circumcising. And guess what? We circumcise after 8 days. Now I'm going to be very clear here. The 8 days is not sacrosanct in the Igbo culture. When a child is born, that child will be circumcised from 8 days old. Usually when a child is 8 days, is circumcised, or 9 days or 10 days. If you leave it to maybe 12 or 13 days, that will be too long. However, from 8 days old, the child is circumcised. This is a practice that we do in Igbo land even before we heard of the Bible, even before we saw the white man. Now everybody is circumcising just because of Christianity, and that's good. But the Igbos don't circumcise because of Christianity. In fact, it's a known tradition. And how do I know this? If you are not a Christian in other tribes, you will not be circumcised. For instance, let's say in Nigeria, let's say you are of the Yoruba tribe. If you are not a Christian, you won't be circumcised. If you're a Muslim or a traditionalist, you won't be circumcised. And they do have a lot of Muslims and traditionalists among them, and they are not circumcised. I know this because I grew up with a lot of them. Only the Christians are circumcised, and that's just because of Christianity. But in Igbo land, whether you're a Juju priest, whether you're a Muslim, anything you are, you will be circumcised. When a child is born, circumcision is a must. This has been a tradition we carried on from our ancestors long time ago. And we still do it today, and it's biblical. I have to mention here that we don't only circumcise male, we also circumcise females. However, circumcising the male is a must in our tribe, in Igbo land, in West Africa. So that is our proof number 2. And I know a number of you will find it very difficult to believe that the Hebrews will actually be black people, or let alone living in Africa. However, if you go to our website, we have a documentation on why the real Hebrews of the Bible could not have been white people. This is not trying to segregate among race. We're actually not interested in racism, and we hope that none of our materials will be used for racism purposes.